Blueberries require specific site and soil characteristics to thrive. Ideal soil conditions are acidic with the pH between around 4.5 to 5. Now, naturally, many nutrients are not readily available when the pH is this low. But blueberry plants evolved under these conditions, and they tend to have different nutrient requirements than many other plants in the garden. In fact, the only nutrient that's generally needed in excess is nitrogen. Now, there's several different forms of nitrogen, so we need to be careful when we go to fertilize our plants. We need to avoid using nitrate forms of nitrogen because these can sometimes be toxic to blueberry plants. Instead, we want to use ammonium forms of nitrate. This includes fertilizers such as urea or sulfur-coated urea. Cottonseed meal is a nice organic fertilizer for blueberries. You can also use ammonium sulfate, and this fertilizer will actually help lower the pH of the soil if that's a problem for you. Any fertilizer that's labeled for rhododendrons or azaleas should also work well. You want to use small amounts of nitrogen because we tend to irrigate our blueberries heavily. So if we use a slow release nitrogen form, or if we apply our nitrogen in small amounts periodically, it'll prevent the nutrients from being leached from the soil. Fertilizer application rates are going to vary with the age of your blueberry plants. Fact sheet 6248, Growing Blueberries in the Home Garden, has a table which lists application rates by the age of your plant for each different fertilizer type. In their first year, blueberry plants only require one nitrogen application, and that would be made in the fall after the growing season. In subsequent years, nitrogen's applied 3 different times throughout the year. Once just before bloom, again after fruit set, and then in the fall. Our plants are in their second year, and so we're going to be making 3 applications this season. We're applying urea, and so we only need a ½ ounce per plant, and the fertilizer should be applied around the drip line of the plant, which is the extent of where the plant branches. We don't want to put fertilizers right up next to the plant, as this can cause some damage. You could go ahead and mix your fertilizer into the soil and water it in if you're not going to be expecting any rain soon. Because our plants are still young, we're not going to allow them to set fruit yet. This year we're going to be removing the flowers. And because we're doing that, we can't base our second application rate on plant development. Instead, we'll use the calendar schedule. So I'll come back in about 6 weeks to make our second fertilizer application.